Hi, my name is Talia. Welcome to Talia Nerds Out. I have a very short period of time where I can, well, not very short, I have a limited time where I can record this video. So this one may or may not go up if I end up having to stop early. Or it might be split. This video is another book haul video. It is very focused, however, because it was directly inspired by one of the books that I'm reading. And it will not come up there. Let me bring it up on Goodreads instead. The book is, I gotta give it a second because I always misremember the name of this book, so I always have to look it up. Okay, so it's Bede and the Theory of Everything by Michelle P. Brown. That is the book I'm already reading, and I actually have another book of hers that I've been taking my time reading. I didn't realize when I picked up Bede and the Theory of Everything that I already have a book that I am using of hers, and this is the source book for scribes. I had picked it up because I wanted to learn a bit more about calligraphy and just different scripts, which this does cover. It also shows how to do your strokes and talks about just the different materials used. I'm not very far along, but this isn't really anything I'm doing with I'm not doing this with Historathon or anything. This is just something that I've been doing. I didn't realize I had this until later when I was doing my card catalog, my library card catalog. That was when I realized that, oh, hey, look, I'm doing another book by this author and I didn't realize it. Now for the book haul part. So I guess I'll start with the books inspired by. This book. There is a series that Bede and the Theory of Everything is connected to, and it's called, I think it's called a Medieval Lives series. Yeah, it's Medieval Lives series, and I eventually plan on picking up all of them. I do believe I picked up a couple on Kindle, but the ones I picked up physical this time around were, this one's by Robin Milner Guland, Andrei Rublev, The Artist in His World. So this is one of them. There's another one that is about an early, someone who studied nature. I don't think I picked up that one yet. Oh, hey, pretty pictures. I picked this up for pictures specifically. Now, this series does seem to have decent pictures. So I look forward to this one. This one is one of the shorter ones in comparison to this one, which is by Michael F. Casado. I believe he also is a Franciscan. Yeah, Franciscan friar who is currently scholar in residence at St. Bonaventure University in Western New York State. Oh, and he's published widely on the history of the Franciscan order in the Middle Ages. So he wrote Francis of Assisi, His Life, Vision, and Companions. And actually, Francis is my confirmation saint. So, and I also went to Franciscan University, not because of it being named after him or connected to Franciscans, but because that's where they had an nursing program and a Catholic college. So this one has pictures. I was going to do this one by Kindle, but in the comments or in the description on Amazon, one of the two, they mentioned that there are a bunch of beautiful illustrations. So I went ahead and picked up the physical one, and I'm glad I did. I wanted to find more. Hold on. There is one I know of. Oh, here's one that's pretty. Kind of dark, but you can see it better in person. I wanted to find the one on Claire. Okay, yeah, here's the one on Claire. So, Claire of Assisi. Yeah, it's filled with these pictures that are littered throughout. And so I'm glad I got the physical copy of this. This this definitely won't be read this year, but it's good to have it. Then, after that, I started going. I think at that point I've decided that I wanted to start looking into other books by Michelle Brown because I found that, okay, I'm interested in her stuff. Let me go ahead and find her other stuff. So I'm currently reading this one. This has been a kind of replacement for the Illuminated Manuscripts one that I was doing because it's a similar setup. Actually, no, this one isn't similar. This one's got more writing throughout and has the flip back and forth more. But it does have the manuscripts in here, but it's a specific focus on Anglo-Saxon. So I have a feeling that I could make my way through this one pretty quickly once I just sit down and read it. But I'm already here. I'm not sure if you can see my marker. So, I've already read this much. It's an easy read. Now, other ones, and this isn't in any particular order of hers. Graphic Devices in the Early Decorated Book. This one talks about just different. I haven't looked through this very closely. Talks about icons, symbols, graphs, charts. It sounds like it talks more about what the different graphics mean, which is why I picked this up. I wanted to understand more what I'm looking at when I look at medieval art, what they were trying to say with it. So I look forward to reading this one. This one, it does have pictures in it, so it's not quite as full. Oh, no, never mind. I lied. It has a decent amount, so I look forward to this one. This one's a bit of a thicker one. Looks like it might be require a bit more focus. Probably won't be done this year. Actually, definitely won't be done this year. Then there's this one, Image on the Edge, The Margins in Medieval Art. And I've always been fascinated by what is on the edges. Like, this weird thing of a nun suckling a monkey. Like, why? A body brothel and a dirty look. And it's in a psalter. So, why? So I look forward to reading this. I've always been interested in what's on the margins of these books because sometimes they're just so weird in the Illuminated manuscripts. This one is interesting because it's called Christian Art, also by Michelle P. Brown, because all of these are pretty much, or most of these. This one, while it doesn't have pictures, when I flipped through it and then let my mom flip through it, it has a nice setup, though. It doesn't really give you a good feel, but when you flip through it, you just kind of feel like you want to read it just because it feels inviting for whatever reason. It has little boxes for reading. It feels almost like just a text. Well, a textbook isn't really the right way to say it because, yeah, it could be used as a textbook, but it's more inviting than that. You really want to read it because it seems to be set up in a very easy to digest manner with boxes but not like boxes like, where it has off to the side, here's a box. It's like, here's a small section. Now here's another break of a section. Here's another break of a section. So it's, even your chapters, which are fairly short, are broken up. And with the art, it's going through barbarians are in the reconversion of the West, the art of imperialism, the Italian High Renaissance. So it looks like it'll be good. Oh, I think I put these in here so I knew time periods. it does go through the history. So here is medieval. I probably need to mark off antiquity. Then Renaissance is actually fairly short, surprisingly, and then modern, early modern onward. I was actually surprised at how short the Renaissance period was in this book. But yeah, I look forward to this one. Probably not this year, even though I would have kind of liked to because it looks so inviting. But I'd rather start it at a point when I would be able to start with antiquity. Kind of related to that. Hang on, this one's heavy and my hand hurts. There we go. Although not nearly as inviting as in, like, it doesn't, I don't look at it and go like, oh yeah, I could really see myself plowing through it. This is, really nice because it has all the pictures in it and stuff. This is Christian art, Michelle P. Brown, but it's a lion companion. So I think that it's I'm not sure why lion companion. It's connected to something. I'm not sure what lion it is it's connected to. Okay, so I guess it's the publishing company, Ryan Hudson. But yeah, so it has also through the ages all the different arts, but it's got the pictures in it. The text is smaller, but I believe, the sections are still pretty big. I think this one looked almost more like a textbook you would get for school. Got things like stained glass. So just Sebastian. I was like, I know that's not Stephen. I had to double check who it was. Pieta. So all different kinds of Christian art through the ages. Just more pictures than the other one. And a different style chosen. So look forward to reading this at some point. Sorry, I knocked that. Okay. This one, again, it's probably one I'm going to start at the beginning of a period of time, like beginning of a Historathon. I'll check the eras. So this is a bunch of contributors, including Michelle P. Brown. But I picked it up because of her. I didn't realize there was a bunch of other contributors. But actually, this might have been a university one. Not sure. Let me see. I thought it was her. Okay, edited by Michelle P. Brown. Okay, yeah. She's written in here and she has edited it. And there's a bunch of other contributors. So this is, in the beginning, Bible before the year 1000. So it's going to have all these different Bibles. And then talk about them. It looks like it'll be really cool. You have fragments of pages. So I think that this will be really cool. Definitely not something I'll be starting this year, but it'll be very nice when I'm able to start it. Well, that's pretty. Major Prophets, alias the Nicetas Bible. Isn't that nice? But yeah, not this year. At some point when I would begin, at the beginning of Historathon, most likely. Then she's written quite a bit. The Book of Charon? I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Prayer, Patronage, and Power in 9th century England. So this looks like it'll be good. You have chapters setting the scene, princes, prelates, and pirates, description of the 9th century manuscript. Then talks about the archaeology of the book, script of the book of Sharon, whatever. Decorations, elucidation, reading the images and ornament of Sharon. Textual matters, devotion, impacts, and context of conclusion, putting the manuscript in context. Now, it looks like the way this book works is you have all the text, and then you have the plates with the pictures at the ends, so you'll have to reference them throughout your reading. Not necessarily my favorite setup, but I guess if you're referencing back to the same pictures again and again, it's easier to just have them all in one area. Looks like there's some errata too that's stuck in here. Whoopsie, don't lose the errata. Stick that back in there. So yeah, this one will be interesting when I get to it. I always enjoy English history, and now illuminated manuscripts on top of that. Talking about English history and illuminated manuscripts, the Lindisfarne Gospels, and actually this is more Irish. Pretty sure that this one is Irish. Yeah, talking about Cuthbert, in the British Isles. Okay, I'm sorry, this might actually be Northumbria. Anyway, this one looks like it's going to be cool. It's going to be a study. The way I heard it described was looking at the Lindisfarne Gospels and also, let's see, questions where, why the Lindisfarne Gospels were made are addressed, but just as importantly, why is explored in the context of new research concerning the technical innovation of its maker, his spiritual motivation, and the needs of society in which he worked. So this will be interesting. It's thick, as you can see. So talking about the Lindisfarne Gospels themselves, but also it's going even deeper than just the manuscripts. I'm kind of surprised it went with black and white pictures in here. I wanted to find a good picture in here. Oh, okay, never mind. There are some color pictures, just that there's not a ton of them. And it's not just, as you can see, it's not just the Gospel. So this is got other pieces of art in here. So I'm looking forward to this. Just because it sounded like it had a lot, there's a lot in here. Okay, here's a bunch of different Gospels here. You got the Book of Durham, the Ecternach Gospels, Durham, then there's Lindisfarne. So, this will be interesting. Keep on the time. Okay. Now, finally, these are the books that are more directly, not so much influenced by the author insofar as it's by the author, but I have a special attachment to Bede, partially because of the book that I'm reading about Bede, Bede and the Theory of Everything. Michelle does a very good job of making you become interested and attached to Bede, but also I have more of a personal attachment to Bede. My grandfather had this really weird kind of thing that when I was like a baby, it didn't go past that point, but he would refer to me as Venerable Bede, and I didn't really know who that was for many years until I started focusing on study of English history, and I was like, oh, really cool, he's actually a historian, that's cool. And I already knew he was a saint. I thought he was like on the steps to sainthood. Venerable is one of the titles when you're making your way up to sainthood. It's blessed. I think it's blessed then venerable. I have to look it up again, and then saint. Well, for him, it's not that he's at the venerable stage. It's Saint Bede the Venerable. So he was just a venerable person, but also a saint and a doctor of the church as well. So it's almost like it kind of felt like I was meant to have this sort of connection to Bede, just from way back when, with my grandfather, with that really odd choice of referring to me as the Venerable Bede. I don't know why, because I was an infant. And then finding out, oh, he's an English historian and all these other kind of things. So I have a very personal connection to Bede. And actually his feast day is May, I believe it's the 25th. So I will be, let's see, are you the 25th? May 25th. So that's a Saturday. But because of my connection to Bede, and also I'd always thought that basically all we had of his writings were the ecclesiastical histories. I found out that I was wrong in this book that I'm reading by Michelle P. Brown. So I decided that I wanted to look into his other writings, his, I believe it's called exegesis, where he's studying the scriptures and expounding upon them. So I was really interested in that. Unfortunately, one of the ones I'm really interested in that's like almost 800 pages long, his one on St. Luke, is way out of my price range, even when I look at used copies. So I'll have to keep looking, and hopefully it'll come down at some point, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be feasible for me to get that, which is very disappointing because apparently it's one of his one of his important works. But his other ones that I have here, now I have the one for Revelation on Kindle, but this one here is not so much of his commentary, but this is his abbreviated Psalter, where he would take different psalms that he enjoyed from the Psalter and do pieces and parts of them. I guess that way he can meditate on them. So it's a very personal connection for him. And we have his writing in here. So yeah, just little excerpts from Whoopsie. I got a free gift in here. Someone left a card in here with a little kingfisher, and inside is written, "Rejoice in the Lord always." And again, I say rejoice. And then it says P7. I'm not sure if it's a comma or a period, and then it says 8. And then it says 19th December 1948 to 19th December 1988. So I'm not really quite sure what those dates refer to, because this book didn't get printed until 2010. I'm sorry, not 2010, 2002. So I'm not really sure what those dates refer to. But this will be nice. A nice little meditation, nice little quick read. I will be starting this soon. Now, the next one, I was going to start this one first, but this is based on the liturgical year. So I will wait to start this to Lent. I'll need to get the one for Advent. This is Homilies of the Gospels, Lent to the dedication of the church. So I want to wait to start this one until I'm at the appropriate time period. I will get the one that's Advent to Lent when I get to Advent, and I'll start with that one. And that's book 1. So this is book 2, and these are his homilies about that. And they give the verse beforehand. And the Cistercians are the ones who are publishing a lot of his commentaries on the Bible, so they don't get lost. Now this one, again by them, this is a weird cover. It looks like it might be recycled paper. This would be the Venerable Commentary on the 7 Catholic Epistles. So that is, you have James, Peter 1 and 2, John 1, 2, 3, and Jude. So, and it's set up like most of his commentaries, where he has part of the verse. He'll tell you where the verse is that he's commenting on, and then he has his commentary on that particular verse. So, example, 1:13, he says, he has a verse, let no one when he is tempted say that he is tempted by God, and then he has his little commentary on it underneath there. They recommend that you have your own Bible open with it, just so you can have the context of everything, because he will jump around within the verse, within the section of the Bible. And the final one that I have here, sorry, trying to keep an eye on the time. This is one that I've already started. This is the commentary, the Venerable Bede commentary on the Acts of the Apostles. And this one is supposed to be, even though it's one of his earlier works, this is supposed to be one of his best commentaries. And it's really cool at the beginning, in the introduction, they're talking about the fact that his work was so prized that not long after his death, let's see, where is it? I can't find it right now. I am on time. Oh, St. Boniface, in a letter written shortly after Bede's death, the abbot of Bede's monastery requested they be sent copies of the scriptural commentaries of Bede, that profound student of the scriptures, who, as we have heard, lately shone in your midst as a light of the church. So he was very highly thought of, even during his lifetime and not long after, for his works, his writings, his commentaries. So I look forward to this. It's set up like the other one, where you have the verse and the commentary. So, for example, this is chapter 1 of the Acts of the Apostles. It's a 123. Joseph called Barsabbas was given the name of Justus and Matthias. So the context is confusing it, because if you look at the whole verse, as I recall, they're saying who was picked. There was Joseph, who was picked to the replacement for Judas, and they're talking about who were the two people who they were looking at to draw lots between. You had Joseph called Barsabbas, who was given the name Justus, and Matthias. And so there's a little commentary on 123, talks about what Barsabbas means and what is said about him. And then the next verse they have, and they drew lots. So it's really important to have the Acts open, even though he does break it into pieces, each of the verses. It can be confusing when you have the commentary breaking up the context. So it's just nice to have the Bible next to you. So I look forward to continuing this. I also have bookmarks, one for where I'm at and one for the notes, because the notes actually, at the end of each chapter, actually are really helpful. So this looks really good. I look forward to continuing with it. But that is all that was influenced by the book I'm reading about Bede. It's quite a bit, as you can see, but I really look forward to diving into them over the course of however long period of time. Hopefully this is it for a book haul for me for a while, because, yeah, this is a lot. I think I heard the door slam, so that means the car door slams, that means I'm going to have to leave. Thank you very much for joining me today for Talia Nerds Out. Hope that you have a very blessed day, and I will see you again next time. God bless. Bye-bye.